Greetings friends and fellow gamers, and welcome to Reapers and Renegades 138th episode. I'm Adam, your host, and today we're on Ark Survival Evolved's new Valguero map again. And of course, if you enjoy this episode, then please remember to hit that like button. It really does help the channel a lot, guys and girls. And if you're new to the channel, then please remember to hit that subscribe button for regular episodes on the games we all love to play. And also please remember to hit that bell for notifications of our latest episodes. And today, unfortunately, we're not going to be joined by Kelly because she's got some responsibilities in the real world as a mother, etc. But instead, we're once again joined by Silent Blade, who I'm sure some of you remember from previous episodes on games like Anthem and Red Dead Redemption 2, etc. Would you like to say hi to the viewers, Blade?
Hey people, welcome to the Ark.
Okay, so today we're going to be showing you tattoos, how we got them, the ones we've got already saved, how to actually do them, etc. Okay guys and girls, let's get cracking. Right then guys and girls, oh, I'm in first person. That's because I was doing a bit of building. Anyway, okay, so as you can see, we've done a little bit of building and we're going to be moving up into the actual keep in a moment. But I just realised there's a few things I need to show you. I did put up the wyvern head from the alpha wyvern. We got the milk from Malice Houghton. Now that's happened since you last saw. There's been some lights put up on the gates, but there's also been a few changes made. You'll notice that we're missing some walls, and this is because we actually hit the structure limit. We can't build any more on this location, and that's because you can't really see it, but you get an idea of it under there. All of this foundation is actually built out of ceiling tiles and pillars, and it's basically maxed us out before we can even decorate the interior, finish off the towers, etc. So with that in mind, as I've said earlier in previous episodes, we're going to be moving to a new Valguero server, but this will be one that's paid for so that we can raise things like the structure limit and etc, you know, make the world the way we want it so that we can build the buildings we want, you know, hunt the creatures we want, etc. Okay, so probably in the next episode, if not most definitely in the next episode, but probably in the next episode, I may knock out one or two more on this server, but in the next couple of days we will be launching our own server, and we will obviously be doing our videos from there, so you can expect to see us tattooed and obviously in our gear and that, because we'll level up and things and probably get our foundations in, you know, a slightly different location, but I'm not going to give anything away because that'll be a surprise for it. But obviously we will try and catch up to where we are very fast, and obviously then move on, because this has been a bit of a hiccup. But anyway guys and girls, so a couple of things that have happened since you last saw us. With a little bit of help from Blade, Kelly managed to tame Lady Liberty here, this Lady Raptor, who's obviously very patriotic, hence her name. And then we've got a few Jaboas over here. Now these are actually multi-owned. Most of them belong to Kelly. Ruby's Kelly's, the other Ruby's Kelly. Okay, that's confused. No, Cleo's mine, sorry, my bad. This Ruby's Kelly's. Ren belongs to Blade. And I believe Jack-o'-lantern is also Kelly's. We've just got the 4, yeah, that's right, isn't it? I ain't missing any, am I?
Nope, I think that's it.
Yep, cool. Right, so again, just to be moving on, because the episode's not about that, but just so that you knew, obviously we've got our war drums over there in case we want to go to war. And we've got lots more eggs now, guys. I will give you a quick look, because I mentioned it in days gone, a couple of days ago. But just inside here now, again, this has been a lot of farming by myself and Kelly, but I think it was 2, maybe 3 days ago, myself and Blade went out and we managed to get a couple of very, very good eggs, if not excellent eggs. Now,
both in one run.
And both in the same, yeah, literally in the same run, so amazing. Now, here we're sitting with the old 90 red, and we've got ourselves now a 180 that you knew about, obviously. There's another 180 now, there's a 170, I'm not going to go through them all. 165 and all the way working themselves down to a 150 there. Now they're all, like I say, these are all over 150, 160s in the middle there. Okay, now down here we have 100s, 95, I'm just going to click through these quickly, 95s, 95, 90, 100. So as you get a feeling. But now here, as you can see, we have another 185. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that one up there just in front of that white, so it's at the top so we don't lose him. And we should have another one. Yep, there it is, because those are the 2 that we got. So when we do a hatching episode, if we do one on this level, on this level, sorry, on this world, on this map, if you like, this instance, then these 2 eggs will actually be now, hopefully, my Smorg and Blade's Mal. Sorry, mate, I forget the full name. I just call you Dragon Mal. What's his full name?
Maltheo.
Oh, Maltheo, that's right. Yeah, Maltheo. Sorry, I've just always known him as Mal. My bad. But Maltheo, awesome name. And then the 180 that was going to be my hopeful second chance of getting Smorg will now actually be Kelly's second chance of getting her helmet. But anyway, and you can also see down here we've also picked up, we've got another 90, we've got a 170 there, which is actually 10 higher than Pearl, and that's Kelly's egg, she grabbed that one. We've got a 90, we've got another 155 there, which is the one that we're going to give to Blade to be his. It's only 5 levels lower than mine and 15 levels lower than Kelly, unless we get a better white before we hatch them, of course. And then there's a level 100. Now again, I have seen level 190 and 195 dragons in the Scar, but we haven't had any eggs from those yet, so we're hoping to push it up a little higher, but on the paid for server rather than this one, which is why we're not bothering hatching these eggs today, guys and girls. Right, so sorry to have taken so long, Blade. I know you're hankering for your tats, you want to get your ink again, mate. I know normally, guys and girls, we are covered. Our characters have been on a lot of worlds. We've been playing this game a lot of time, and you can save your tattoos, as I'll explain. But anyway, if we move up to the keep, because that's where I've built my little tattoo parlour kind of thing. I'll trust you to close them all behind you, mate. You know, for security sort of reasons. We're going into the keep. Sorry, I was about to go into the workshop for a second. It's a force of habit, not repairing armour now. Right, and over here I decided to build a little tattoo parlour. Now, you don't have to do it the way I've done it. It's just for our bit of fun because we like the tattoos. Excuse me. Right, so you look at that, he's eager as he's already in the chair ready to get inked. Right, now obviously these are a couple of the very simple designs that I've done before. You know, it's very, very easy, and at some point I will show there is a different skill sort of set required to doing it on canvas or on a flag, and I will do a separate episode about those, but just to show you that, you know, we can do them, and they can be reasonable. Okay, but these ones are supposed to be like pictures of tattoos. Obviously these aren't meant to be pictures. Well, we'll probably show you how I can do one showing you how to paint landscapes, etc., if that's required. Just leave a comment in the section below. Right, so let's grab the paintbrush, because believe it or not, we tattoo with a paintbrush. Now, sorry, I'm having a little bit of an issue with the shelf because I'm in third person, but I'll just grab the brush. In fact, I'll just grab all of that. So that's the kit I need. Right, and I do have more paints in here and that, etc., if people want to request colours, because obviously we are going to be doing some tattoos today as well. But now, the first thing I want to do is bring that paintbrush. It doesn't matter what colour paint's on it, you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you've got the colours that you want and a reasonable amount of them. Stack of 10 to 100, anything like that will be enough to do most sensible tattoos. If you're going to be doing a big back piece and you want it to be all one colour, you know, like a big white wolf's head or grey wolf's head or something, then obviously you're going to need a lot of that colour. And if you're just going to have a little bit of yellow in the eyes, you're only going to need, you know, you've got to use your own judgment. But basically, I'd aim for having somewhere between, say, 25 and 50 of each colour before you attempt to tattoo, because there's nothing worse than getting halfway through and needing to make more ink or paint. Now, if you're not aware of how to do that, it's made in a cauldron or a cook pot out of berries. And it's literally as simple as blueberries will help you with water. You'll be able to make dyes. It's very simple. If you need a guide on how to make the actual dyes, then I will put one together as a mini-sode. But it's such a common skill that's learnt so early in the game, I don't think it's something I need to teach you. It's how you paint your armour, you know, everything. So anyway, now we're going to equip the brush. No, that's a sword, you lunatic. Right. Yeah.
Not
paint me with a sword. Yeah, no, exactly, mate. Exactly, right. So I'm going to tattoo myself first, because you can actually tattoo yourself, obviously. And you're not often you're your favourite customer sort of thing. But anyway, now let me remember rightly, it's L2 to hit me. That's right. Now, as you'll see, I get an icon of myself. Now, I'd be able to zoom that in. I won't bother doing it now, because we're going to need to do it when we're doing it on Blade's body. But you will see what I mean then. And it's done just exactly the same way. But obviously I now have load paints from this type. That's what I was saying earlier about the canvas and the body. You can have the same picture, but if you want to show it, you're going to have to paint it on a canvas and paint it on a body and save both of them. Yeah, they're separate types. So you don't automatically have the ability to paint all your tattoos on canvas or all your canvases on as tattoos. Okay, it's a separate skill set sort of thing. Not that you require any skills in the game to do it. But anyway, moving on. So, bringing this up, now as you can see I've got Wolf and Spare and Shadow, and obviously Shadow is Blade, for those of you that weren't aware, and Sanford is one of my other character names and things, and you'll see we've got number 2s, and this is because certain tattoos evolved or got added tattoos on other parts of the body, etc. But anyway, if we just zoom down here to the bottom, we will, not to the very bottom, sorry, to down here, we will find Sanford 3, which is that one, and you'll get a rough picture of what it looks like, the different parts, just underneath where it says painting resources. Don't worry about that, you'll know what it looks like because you'll have done the work, or had the work done for you. It then lists the amount of colours that you're actually going to be using, okay, the needed resources. Right, so the next thing we want to do is go back up to the same tab where it says load painting, and then just press on that and it will literally start using up the paint and painting for you. Now obviously you'd already have had to do the design and saved it, and I will take you through that stage by stage, but as you can see I am now tattooed. I now have both my sleeves, and if I go into orbit cam a second, I'm hoping it won't start putting me through walls. No, there we go. You can see I have an arm that was done for me by a friend, sort of Celtic knotwork. The arm that's holding the brush is one I did myself, a Nordic knotwork. I've got the wolf's head off the wall on my chest, and then I've got, oh, the snarling wolf on my back. Okay, right, now these are obviously all tattoos that were done. The back piece was a joint effort. A friend of mine did the outline, and then I touched up the ears, changed the mouth, coloured the eyes, and coloured the actual whole thing white. So it was a bit of a joint effort. You know, we were struggling to get that one right for a long time. But anyway, moving on now to Blade. So let's get back into regular view. Right, now I'm going to walk up to him, and I'm going to basically R2 and beat him up with the brush. Right, so that means that means that, you know, you don't beat him up, you just hit him once, and it doesn't do him any damage, obviously. Even if you have got a PvP world, you won't cause damage to another player with a paintbrush, even though it says it's a weapon. I know, craziness. But anyway, now, again, to begin with, we're going to give him his full set of tattoos from before, but I know that we've already discussed it, and I've got an idea he's been talking about wanting to change one of his tattoos for a different one. But then we're going to go right down the bottom to Shadow 4. Thanks, mate. But I mean, yeah, I can't remember which one. I know it's not your. It's one of the ones on your non-sleeve arm, but I'll let you explain about it when we get there, obviously. Now, again, you can see slightly different picture, all a bit blurry, because they're trying to show you all the different parts of the body without a body there, which doesn't really work. But so long as you pick out something you recognise in it, or like I do, number them, you know, you have your own system so you know which tattoo's which, but you can check it against that little reference there. Again, it lists what colours are used in his body, because it's the full set of tattoos. And then we're just going to go straight up to the top now that it's selected and hit load painting, and it's going to load in the paint on him. And I'm genuinely right, I think, I'm sure every single one of your tats is done by me, isn't it? You haven't got any work from anybody else on your body yet, have you? They're all my work,
no, it's all been Santhus original.
Yep, they're all me. Okay, cool. I'm just checking, do you know what I mean? Because obviously, like, I'm not going to claim that I did my left arm, it was done for me. However, I probably will redo it. Not that there's anything wrong with the artwork, but it's not clear enough. If
to
you
be
like
fair,
it,
I did.
for the camera.
My back piece was originally drawn by someone else, but it was drastically changed and redrawn by you. So,
yeah, it was because it looked like pigeon wings, man. It was terrible. Now it looks proper.
It was.
I mean, now you've got a proper wing skull on your back. It was okay. They didn't do a bad job. I've seen worse. But anyway, we probably shouldn't be talking about it. It's probably getting on. Right, let's get the door out of the way. Okay, so this is the arm, I believe. Now, which part of your arm is it that you wanted me to re-tattoo? Because we're obviously going to have to clear it off first.
I was going to take off my kill tally on my left forearm because you can't really see it that well anyway. And I was thinking maybe like a tribal panther on that arm.
Okay. Kind of climbing up the arm, looking over its own shoulder, snarling kind of thing. Kind of classic panther, but in a tribal
kind of
design.
Beast within kind of idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the classic climbing cat tattoo, but we'll make it a tribal one rather than a panther or a leopard or a tiger or something. Is that kind of what you're after?
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll get going, you'll have a look, and it'll be like always. We'll discuss it, we'll change it as needed, and if it's wrong, mate, I'll wipe it out and do something different, you know what I mean? Anyway, people, let's get cracking again. So we're going to go onto his actual body now, but again, just by moving across from the options we had at the top. Now, I should point out, this is to save a paint, so once you've made one, you'd go there to save it, but you'll see us do that again. And that's to erase a paint. Obviously, be very careful of that one, which is, for this term, for our terminology, is tattoo. They're saying each painting, obviously, because you're using a brush and that. And that's to reset camera to present position if you get yourself completely and utterly lost inside the body or something, as you'll see now. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and rotate and turn his body. So the right stick's moving him left and right. Oh. Okay, let's pan him up. Okay, and then we want to zoom in. How do I turn you? Pan, left and right, rotate is L1. Aha, right, okay. And then you can tilt the body, you see how I'm turning him? Right, so I'm going to try and get his forearm. There we are. And then I need to do L2, and I should be able to zoom. Yep, L2. Okay, so once you got him in a bit closer, you have to start now kind of rotating the body to get the positioning you want. So we're going to want to bring it around the front of his arm a bit, and then with L2 and right stick zooming it in, and then without any, you can position him with the right stick without any of the shoulder buttons, the L2 or the L1. The L1 to rotate and the L2 to zoom in and out. So right now we're going to need a little bit more turn than that, and then a little bit closer and a little bit more central. Okay, right. So now the first thing we're going to do here is free paint, obviously. So what we're going to do now, you see down the bottom that you have got the left stick and R1 to erase. So anything you've done, you don't have to worry about painting over the top. You can do if it was just tiny and you was going to put something big, you can just paint over the top, although some of the colours do mix and therefore change the hue of the final colour. So it's a lot easier, I find, to just literally using the R1 to erase, and obviously you're just going to erase. Must get every single dot, because obviously this is done dot by dot, and obviously that you can zoom in at the end if you're not too sure of yourself, but you know, you can just sort of sweep it like this. And again, if you find a dot or a bit of colour that's different, you can zoom in on it, take that dot out, put the colour that should be there because it's, you know, got one underneath it, sort of thing. But as you can see now, obviously it's going to take quite a while to completely clear his arm off. You know, I'm not going to be doing the top half, obviously. So what we're going to do is we will be right back just as soon as I've actually finished clearing off his arm, and he'll be ready for his tribal panther tattoo. And welcome back, guys and girls. Well, as you can see, we've cleaned his arm off. Now don't worry, I've zoomed in, I've made sure there may be a little bit at the back or something behind one of the curves in the muscles, but I'm sure we'll find it when we're going along, and it's not difficult to erase whilst painting, and I'll show you that if we need to do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is obviously we're now going to need to zoom in a little bit more, because obviously we were on the clear up. So I can't zoom when I'm painting. There you go. So zoom. Alright, because we're going to get nice and close. Now obviously art's a bit different to real life. You have to sort of look at the muscles on the body and work out how you're going to make a tattoo fit, as opposed to saying, oh, I want it there and just put it on me, because you know, it's not a flat. You sometimes got to work with the contours of the body itself. So obviously with that in mind, I'm going to be freehanding to try and make it fit, but I've got an idea for what I'm going to do. A tribal panther on his arm here. So let's the very first thing we want to do, is we're going to need to select the white paint. Now I know you're thinking, what, why don't you do it in black? Black comes out like the darker brown skin pigment for some reason. So what you do is you paint it in white first, and then you apply the black afterwards, and it will then turn up, though not as dark as you'd like it. It's a bit like a light charcoal. So it's just one of the features of the game that doesn't quite work the way people want it to, and a few of the colours are a little bit like that. Again, I'm not going to go into the foibles of every single colour. I'll leave that for yourselves to discover and have fun with as you're tattooing and playing the game yourselves. But so now that we've got the white paint, we're going to come back onto him, obviously. Now we're not going to move him at all yet at the minute, because we've zoomed in and things. We're just going to go into free paint. Sorry mate, do you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, if they want an idea of what the black comes out looking like, they can look at the top of the yin and yang on my arm.
That's very true. So that's a good point. So what we'll do is, before we paint, we'll just slide ourselves up here, and there you go. That's what the black will actually look like when it's put on top of white. So I mean, it is noticeably different, but as you can see, he's got the darker shading areas, and the sort of the moles and things on his body are very similar coloured. So it makes it very difficult to draw your outline in that and actually see what you're doing. So the easiest solution we found is to use just literally white. And as you'll see now when I start. Right, so where's my little cursor? There it is. Now, we're going to be starting this right at the beginning with the thin brush. Now, as you'll see that down here, the second choice, obviously I always move cursor, clicking the left stick will give you a thicker brush. But you want to be careful because it is a lot thicker. So it's very good for filling in or colouring in, things like that, or for larger lines depicting heavy musculature, for example, in an animal or something like that. You'll find your own uses for it. So basically you've got a fine brush and you've got a larger, thicker brush. So you need to, learn which parts to do with which. And obviously I'll be showing you during this episode and sort of tutorial guide to tattooing. Right, so going back to actually start now, we're going to need to do our first stroke. Now obviously I'm going to be using his full forearm, and I've picked around this area for his head, and sort of then the back's going to curve down sort of around here, and then we'll be coming down into his tail. He'll have a sort of a leg or foreleg coming up this way, another foreleg over this side. So like I described before, sort of climbing with the leg sort of curved as if he's climbing up. The arm is the effect I'm trying to go for, but in a tribal style. So starting, obviously it's the R2 to apply, and you're just going to steer slightly with the left. And this is how you get a straight line. Obviously now that's not quite the right angle, but what we're doing here, you see, is we're trying to come up at this sort of angle because we're creating what will become the top of the nose, if you like. Okay, now from here we want to kind of draw a straight line as we can. Okay, and then here we're going to be drawing a little inverted triangle if we can. Going to be a little bit blocky to begin with, like that, but we will straighten all this up by zooming in. Now we're also going to need excuse me guys and girls, a little bit of a rise here and a little flip there. Oh, doesn't matter if it goes a bit over, as long as it fills in that hole. There we go. And we'll actually shape that up in a minute too, but we'll give it an extra little bit here, okay, because that's going to become the back of his ear, but that's far too big at the moment anyway. Right, now here we're going to need his other ear. Oh, that's wrong. Let's try and get that there. Okay, that's very big again, although I am very zoomed in, so it might not be right. Okay, so now zooming in, which is come out of the painting and then L2 and forward or back until you can get it in where we need it. And then I'm actually quite pleased with that. I know you probably think, what? It doesn't look anything like what it's supposed to, but I can see what it's going to become, sort of thing. Right, so let's just get our brush again. Okay, now can we skim this out? Maybe. Oh, no. Okay, now if we could just paint that back in there, that would be awesome. Problem. Okay, I see what the problem is. Again, it's to do with the lay of the arm. As you can see, these little ridges here are sort of pushing the paint. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, we'll just try it like that, because when we come out, that should be nice and pointy. Right, now, oh, we want to move it. Now, it's sort of inverted on some points, and then it's not on others. Right, now it's just turning the... turning. Oh, L1, not R1, my bad. Okay, so that we can get above it, and then zooming back in with the L2. Moving it up a little bit, zooming. Okay, right. Oh, you bugger. it's not going to work. Okay. Clear that off the back. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, and then zooming back out a little bit. And obviously then tilting the body slightly. And then zooming back in here. Obviously, I'm moving it across a bit. Right, and then I might have to keep it the way it was. Okay. Okay. You can see a lot of it's trial and error. Okay, that's probably the best we're going to get for the nose, I'm afraid. Because as you can see, it just will not let me do a little triangle there. But normally you'd do that with a little triangle. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to use that kind of more circular triangle, if you like. Not sure what we'd actually call that shape. I'm not sure if it is a real word, but anyway. Again, we're going for the kind of tribal effect, so let's bring it back up here. Okay, now can we get one of these out of here? Yes, that's good. Okay. And then zooming back out a little bit more. Right, and now we need to turn the arm slightly. Okay. Let's just get it where I want it. There we go. And then zooming back in slightly to about there. Right. So next we want to work on getting this bit in here. So what we're going to do is from this bit here, we need to just kind of draw. No, that was wrong. There you go. Now we take this bit out. There we go. Draw a little line there that doesn't quite reach the ear. Now I'm actually beginning to notice that I think we might be a bit close there. No, that's right. That's good. That's good. Okay. Now here we need to start coming down and making the mouth. Now obviously it would be a lot easier to do this with a pencil. Unfortunately we're not allowed to use a pencil, so we've got to try and get that to curve around here, up then down and around. Oh, get rid of that in a second. But we are now losing the nose, so we've got to try and give it a nose again. There we go. Why can't I get that line right? Okay, that's very annoying. I'll have to go around the curve in a minute. That's naturally turning itself into the teeth, so that's cool. Oh. Okay. Right. Now here we want to give it, so no, that didn't want to connect there, like that. And then, why does it do that? There we go. Okay, and now, if we zoom out, how's that looking? Okay, it's got a bit more of a cat feature to it. I mean, at the moment it could be a cat, a bear, or a wolf, really. Or even a wolverine or a badger, I suppose. But, you know, obviously a lot of the cat shape comes from the shape of its spine, its legs, etc. But it's most important to get the basics in there, because we will come back and actually fine-tune it. It's a case of getting everything in the right place, you know, and then getting it exactly the right, you know, changing the shapes of the jaw and things like that. It's very square at the moment, but at least it's in the right place. But as you can see, we're beginning to get an idea of the head. Okay, now obviously this is going to take a great deal of time, guys. I mean, doing one of these is almost as lengthy as doing a real life tattoo, if not as long. I mean, my back piece took me 4.5, 5 hours after a 3-hour outline had been applied on me by my friend. Blade, now his back piece, again, he had one there. We used it as the sort of centre for the skull, if you like, and then enlarged it, completely wiped out all the rest of it. And I believe yours took about 6 3/4 hours, didn't it, total, to actually get your back piece finished? So I mean, these are long tattoos, unfortunately. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, rather than speed up footage so that you won't be able to see what happens, I mean, it'll just be too quick, it would be silly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be right back once I've got a lot more of the tattoo in place, so I can show you where we're going. You can actually sort of see it progressing, and then I'll obviously be right back again more towards the end. Okay, guys and girls? And welcome back, guys and girls. Well, as you can see, we've got a lot more of it done now. A lot more of it done. A lot of it I'm still playing with. I'm kind of happy with the upper paws. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that paw because I can't get into it, but I'm actually happy with the way it's looking. I've just got this paw to put on, and then obviously we've got to change the colour. It started with the colouring of things, because this has literally just been, if you like, the sort of undercoat, if you like, but like I say, it's getting on there in white so that it's so visible. But anyway, right, so what we're going to need to do here is we just want to do a nice little straight line across there, and then bring it in like that, and then a little line down there. That's not quite right, so let's just get in there and get the angle. We might need to. Okay. And we're going to throw another one down here like that. Oh, okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Fortunately, I've got a line there on the seam of his wrist to his forearm, so unfortunately I'm not going to get rid of that. Now we can bring that in. Okay. And backing out is not quite right, so again we're just going to try and get the positioning right. It's a bit easier on the back of the arm than it is on the inner arm, but again, light can be an issue here, so try to get it into place. Let's move it up a bit and then zooming all a bit farther. Okay, we take that off. See, again, because of the lines in the skin, as you can see, I'm actually painting now. I'm holding R2, right through, you know, it's just not working, because there are some parts it just won't reach into because they're just too deep, and you know, you can't get the angle with the camera. But that's not good either. It's this line here I don't like. Maybe if I do that and then do that, because as you can see there's a line here joining the wrist, so this is, it keeps throwing this claw out, but that's kind of okay for now. Now let's just have a stand back, and we can see we've got far too much on the top, because it's supposed to be in line with that line. So you just skim that off like that and bringing it back down to have another look. Now you see this is taking the claw out there, so if we do that and then do that, wipe this out here and put that back. No, sorry, my bad. It's going to be very difficult to see these. Maybe we can come back in one there. There we go. That might actually make it look more like claws. Yes. Okay, it's not perfect. I'll keep working on that. Oh, I've got the wrong angle again. Take that bit there. Take that bit there. Let's make that the bottom one, because that's what's causing the problem. Is that okay. Okay. Now I have to go for a third claw here. Bend this foot up like it should be. There we go. And now we have a kind of climbing or rampant lion, or in this case panther, as it's going to be. Rampant cat, I should say. It's got no mane. But as you can see, it's got all the four limbs. You can see the shape of his back, the head, and obviously the tail, very easily identifiable. So there you go, a very, very simple method. I mean, obviously I will now give you a section by section shot, so that if you wanted to, you could try and copy. But if anyone actually wants me to do a blow by blow account, it's going to probably take several episodes, because it, you know, I could probably maybe speed it up to 2 times speed and it'd still be viewable, because it is quite slow. But I think at 4 or 8 times speed it'd just be terrible. But okay, so now what we're going to do, the next stage, is now we've got it all white. Obviously we want it to be a panther, so we need to make everything that's white black. So what we're going to do is, obviously we're going to come out of the paint, go onto that black paint and put it on the brush, and now everything when we go back in will be black. Well, it won't all be black suddenly magically, we have to actually paint it again. So now we have the painstaking task of going back over everything. So starting with the eye, and well, that's not going to be easy to see. Try the one next to it. No, mate, I can see when this outline's on, it's not going to be visible, mate. It's too dark, and we haven't got the room to do white outline.
Too dark to support
yeah,
we have this problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Just go with the blue. The rest of my tats are blue anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, we could, blue or purple would be the dark colours we could choose, but yeah, okay, no worries. So in that case, very quickly I need to put those dots back in. So let's change back to white, so that we don't have a difference in the colour of the blue. And then it's that one, and that one, there we go. And then back. And now change it over to blue. Okay, yeah, we should have remembered this. Obviously it's been a while since we did tattoos, guys and girls. Obviously we were away from the game for roughly a year and a half, I think. Well over a year anyway. Let's get this going. So right now we need to paint these blue. And as you can see, that stands out much better. Okay. And again, I'm just going to do a little bit of this for you to see, guys, and then obviously we will be right back just as soon as we've finished it all off. So as you can see, you get a general idea. It's literally just a case of them now it's gone from freehand to tracing, and it is literally as easy or as hard or as complicated as the tattoo picture you've actually done for yourself. So make sure you stick to the lines you've done. And a little bit of white there. Okay. Right, so you get the idea, guys and girls. I'll just do the ear quickly, just to finally. Oh, it's being funny there, so we're going to have to do that. But again, remembering that the R1 is your delete if you make a mistake, very easy to take out. But there you go, so you get the idea. And like I say, we will be right back just as soon as we finish the colouring in, guys and girls. And welcome back, guys and girls. Well, as you can see, we have very nearly finished. Just doing these last little bits here. Oh, that was a miss. Take that out. Take that out. There we go. Very careful, but as you can see, you do have a dot in the middle of the square, and that is obviously where you're painting, but you need to make sure it's in exactly the right spot. And if you do miss, just remember your R1 is your erase. As you can see, just coming up here. Nearly there. Like I said, this is very painstaking, guys and girls. There is no rush though, to obviously take your time when you need to. Move the arm a little bit so that you can see better, etc. You know, I'm on maximum zoom at the minute. You can zoom into the arm more in certain places. It all depends on the positioning of the body, but unfortunately I require it to be at this sort of angle so that I can get this bit right, so I can't get in closer. Now I'm going to need to turn it a little bit so I can get this claw right. There you go. I think I may have missed that claw slightly. Let's try and turn it a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to take those two out there. Is that like, yeah, there you go. Difficult to see. Very difficult to see in this light. But I think, there we go. Yeah, so let's just get the positioning right and give you a final look of it now that it's coloured in. And remember, it's obviously a tribal representation of a panther, or a big cat, I suppose. Possibly even one of the ones on the Ark world, like saber-tooth or something maybe. Although they're bigger teeth, I expect.
Or a thyla.
Or a thyla, there you go, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got a very heavy body, hasn't it? So, just like a thyla, perfect, actually. It's got big claws on its front legs as well. So, yeah, why not? It could be a thyla. Okay, well, that's actually, obviously, a very, very un-in-depth, if you like, or non-in-depth, how to tattoo. But basically, it's down to your own skills, your own practice. I can do a slightly more in-depth, what would you call it, tutorial if people want it, but obviously I'm going to have to do a much more limited tattoo because of the amount of time it actually takes in order to be able to keep it at normal speed and show the whole footage. It would have to be a lot smaller tattoo, maybe one on the back of a hand or something. So again, if it's something that you would actually like to see, you know, a smaller tattoo done to completion, you know, from start to finish, then please just leave a comment in the section below. But I think it's probably best if we went outside and had a look at it in the daylight, innit, mate? It does look good on your arm.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll follow you, mate. Close all the doors. I'll do it my turn this time. Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Shooting down here. You good?
Yeah.
So we haven't got a lot of daylight here. I'll probably have more of it than forecourt. Yeah. Excellent. Have a look in the daylight. See what we got. Right. And I'm going to go into, yeah, facing the shadow, man. There we go. So in first person, it's a shame I can't outline it in white like I did your tribal arm, because that would make it pop, but there's no way. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, guys and girls, because this one was done like tribal work, but it was a fine detail, so it was done with the fine brush. The reason why I haven't shown you the filling in, obviously I use things like the 3 pixel thick brush when I've been doing the larger areas like the wolf on his chest, or the black and the white of the yin yang, but there was nowhere there where you were ever more than 2 pixels away from, you know, covering up another line, so it just wasn't required.
Yeah, we might be able to figure out a way to touch it up later on too.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. Right, so getting out of first person and moving the camera around, because unfortunately that's all for this episode, guys and girls. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please do remember to hit that like button. It really does help the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel, then please remember to hit that subscribe button for regular episodes on the games we all love to play. And also please remember to hit that bell for notifications of our latest episodes. And please feel free to leave a comment in the section below, especially if you have a question, a suggestion, a theory, anything at all that actually relates to this game or indeed to this episode. And a huge thank you to all of you who've already subscribed. Your support is awesome, guys and girls, as indeed is each and every one of you. And of course, a huge thank you to Silent Blade for sitting in the chair for what turned out, guys and girls, to actually be 4.5 hours to get that cat tattoo done. Like I say, it does take a long time, even for people who know what they're doing. There's a lot of mistakes, a lot of rubbing out, going back. You know, stick with it, you will get it done. But would you want to say goodbye to the guys and girls, Blade?
Sure. See you later, guys and girls.
Okay, so thanks once again for watching. Take care and keep on gaming. I'll see you in the next episode. Probably one on Days Gone, and don't worry, Kelly will be back for the next Ark episode. Laters, guys and girls.